Hello. Welcome back. This is episode number 3. We're doing a little bit later in the day. I got a light set up in front of me so you can see it in my glasses. I just heard a helicopter. There's a dog barking next door. It's pure chaos, which I feel like accurately describes kind of what this week has been, kind of what the past 2 weeks have been. So first off, let's talk about what we got. We got on the show, on the agenda today. Today we're going to be talking about Tesla robots that are going to kill us all, ultimately. Just jump right into it. Deadly robots. We're going to be talking about OnlyFans banning sexually explicit content, and what that means. And then we're also going to be talking about the Lorde album, because honestly, that's about the happiest thing that's happened in the last few days. The past week has been the Lorde album being released. So we're going to talk about that. I'll tell you about some movies I've been watching this week. I did not think of a comment of the week. I need to go find that comment. I will find that comment because I know which one I want it to be. Clearly very prepared here. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about that. But let's start off with what I've been up to. I have been sad this week. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like the news this week was so heavy and it trickled its way into my everyday life as well. I mean, there's a ton of different stories I can mention, but let's start off with the Delta variant running rampant in the United States. I just looked and there were 150,000 cases the other day. Everything that's happening in Afghanistan, everything that's happening in Haiti, like it just feels like when it rains, it pours. So for anyone that's being affected by any of those horrible, horrible things, my thoughts are with you, and hopefully, my actions as well. Some of those I don't even know what to do. I don't know how any of you feel, but I feel so powerless sometimes in situations like that. Like I feel like, what could I possibly do to help in this situation? But yeah, I've been trying my best. Aside from that, I finished my audiobook this week. It's done. It's over. The stress is finally off my back. It is such a hard thing. I was tweeting with Ricky Dillon and Justine the other day, and they fully validated my feelings here, because it's not like a unique experience, but going through an audiobook is just emotionally taxing and vulnerable. And I'm really, really just glad it's over. I'm really happy with it too. It was my best performance to date. 5 stars for sure. Feel like I really gave my all in there, but I am happy it's done. I'm happy I didn't tear a vocal cord. Imagine that. Oh my God, that would be something I would do. Tear a vocal cord. I'm the type of person that comes into work on Monday and they're like, oh my God, how did you break your neck? And I'd just be like, oh yeah, I just tripped on the sidewalk. So I was opening a door and the building fell on top of me. A soda can, I opened it up and it somehow sliced my jugular. Like just random things happened to me. I'm such a klutz. I am so clumsy, I swear. It's why I never try to show off. The one time that I've had like a pretty serious accident is when I dislocated my shoulder. And for everyone that doesn't know, I dislocated my shoulder while swimming in a pool, which makes no sense. It only happens to a nerd like me. I was swimming in one of those infinity pools, swimming up against this current, like an infinite current. I hadn't swam in a long time. I used to be a state and national competitor in swimming, and I was like showing off, I guess, swimming into this current, like, look, I can swim into the current, it's not too tough for me. Toxic masculinity in its finest, swimming into the current. And then I swim out of the current, and as I'm leaving, my shoulder opens up and the current is so strong, my shoulder dislocates. How the fuck does that happen? I'm so fragile. I'm so weak. If you flicked me, I'd probably bruise. From the anemia, first of all, iron deficiency galore. but also just the fact that I'm fragile. I'm a baby. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to this week. I also have been on I had a lot of like Glisten related activities. For everyone that doesn't know, I'm on the Glisten board of directors. Glisten is an LGBT organization. It's where all of my extra time, all of my fundraising goes towards Glisten and you know, the queer babies, all you gaby babies out there, all the bi children, the trans children, all of them. All my time, all my money offline goes to them. So I had a bunch of board meetings like that, which was those are always actually really enjoyable because I feel like I'm really doing something with my time versus just sitting around watching TikToks. Oh my God, TikTok. I couldn't decide if I wanted to talk about this week, but there's not even much to talk about. I just feel like I'm on the weirdest TikTok algorithm known to man. It's like a mixture of things, words in a sentence that would make no sense to anyone unless you are caught up with the most current internet slang and memes. People saying things that just like out of context make no sense. Absolutely no sense. I'm trying to even think of one of them. They make no sense. It's like a sound, some type of sound alert. It'd be like when this Wendy Williams, why did that sound weird? It's like when this sound came out.
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.
It's like random sounds like that constantly. Just random sound bites, random memes popping up. And then it's a mixture of vegan baking, random hot men, and then like the occasional video that I just absolutely don't want to see. It's a strange collection of things, but the thing that was absolutely annoying me this week is vegan TikTok, vegan baking TikTok specifically, because they all use the same products to make the same things. Every vegan TikTok starts out with, all you're gonna need is a cup of oats, 1 banana, peanut butter, maple syrup, and then suddenly you have a 3-tiered cake. If you mix those ingredients together, you have a dozen donuts. If you mix those ingredients together, you have cheddar biscuit. Like they all make the same things. And I don't know why it annoys me because what is, oh my God, this is coming off of my disco ball. That's kind of rad. Wait, there's a light on my face from a disco. Okay, ignore it. Sundown. So all those things, it's just constant streams of that. It's constant streams of vegan baking, oatmeal recipes. I don't need to think about food 24/7. Okay, moving on to Tesla robots. Let's get on to something real. Elon Musk announced, did he announce? I don't know if he announced. I just saw it trending and I just assumed it was a fact. Tesla had an AI day. Who knew that was a thing? This is so funny. This little glittery thing on my face. If this ever just makes it to audio only, just know there is a square beam of light directly on my face. Okay. Tesla robots. Robots are going to kill us all. They had an event. Who knows where? Who knows why? I didn't even know this was happening. I don't know anything's happening anymore. And they announced at the end of it that they're building robots. Like iRobot with Will Smith. Ex Machina with what's her face. Like robots, artificial intelligence. This is so freaking annoying. Artificial intelligence, and it's going to kill us all. I thought I'd have someone else explain it better than me, so let's watch this TikTok that I think could probably do more justice to it than me.
I can't believe this, but Elon just announced that Tesla is building these Tesla robots. It came at the end of their AI Day presentation when they unveiled this insanely impressive machine learning chip that they're building for their self-driving cars. And I guess he was like, well, we've already found a way to use cameras to navigate complex terrains. So let's combine them, put some cameras on this, use this chip, and we've got a navigating robot.
So it's a car with legs. Maybe I'm not as impressed as I thought it was. Thought it was. It's not as impressive as I thought it was. It only makes sense. I don't know where I learned this, but there's technology and advances is on a bell curve. So essentially, like, when you learn something, it only keeps doubling. So the faster that things advance, they are not a bell curve, just a curve. They keep going up faster. So as soon as we get to the point where artificial intelligence exists, or like to the point where computers become self-aware, let's say, they're already smarter than us. Because everything happens so quickly that as soon as they're as smart as us, they're already smarter because they're learning. So as soon as they've learned to be as smart, they're continuing to learn. So they jump above us. So shit like this terrifies me. Because it's almost inevitable. It's more of just like, how quickly are we going to get there?
Their current design is for it to be 5'8" and 125 pounds.
5'8" and 125 pounds? Is it me? Am I the Tesla robot? I'm like 5'8", 130. Beep boop, beep boop. Beep boop, beep boop. Would you like... Can I take your hat, sir? Can I take your hat, sir? Me trying to communicate with you. Basically that, constantly. I'm a child.
And he definitely made sure to say that it won't be strong enough to overpower a human or run fast enough to overtake a human.
Run fast enough to overtake a human? What the fuck? I wasn't even thinking about that. Just some warnings. The robots we're building, they will not have enough strength to cut off your arm if you were worried about that. Just in case you were wondering, the robots that we are building, the thousands of robots that we are building, yes, the smart robots that we are building, we don't plan for them to have any intention to kill you. Just in case you were wondering that, we are ahead of you there. What the fuck? I don't want... The idea of it running is terrifying. Imagine being out for a walk like I do all the time, and I just see a no-faced white robot sprinting down the street, package in arm, run into the post office for its owner, it's 2 minutes till 8 p.m. The post office closes at 8 p.m. It's sprinting with a package. Fuck that. I don't want it. Take it back.
But the one thing he didn't really specify was, what's the purpose of this? He was very general about it. He was basically like, we're gonna need a ton of robots to perform unskilled labor tasks. And while in the near term that might mean things like working on the Tesla Gigafactory assembly line or picking out groceries for you, I think that in the long term, this kinda looks a little bit like this.
That's the thing too. Why do they have to make robots look like humans? Why? It only makes it scarier when they look like us. I don't like it. It's like that scene from Annihilation. Probably insert clip here. I don't want it. God, I don't want it. I know that this shouldn't be freaky because by no means is Tesla just going to, out of nowhere, have a robot that is any smarter than Sophia, that one robot they've been working on, or any of the, the Boston Dynamics robots, the ones that look like dogs that can like do flips, and if you push them, they don't fall over. It's nothing, it's not going to necessarily be more advanced than that. I don't want it. I don't need it. It's freaky.
And if you're planning on building lunar and Mars colonies and you need a ton of labor, I think it makes sense to have robots do a lot of this.
Can we just get over the fact that anybody thinks we are going to live on Mars? If we're not going to have lunar colonies. Let's get that straight. We are not. There may be like one person on Mars. There may be like a family on Mars, but we're not going to transport 7 billion people to Mars anytime soon. Do you know how many astronauts are in space right now? It's like 20. That's a Googleable question. Let's Google it. How many astronauts have died? No, no, no. There are 10 people in space right now. 10 of them. And you want to get 7 billion? I can barely make it to the meeting on time. I'm always at least 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes late. I'm going to miss my space. Knowing my luck, I'll miss the spaceship. If I was an animal and Noah's Ark was real, I would definitely oversleep my stay and miss the boat. Did that make sense? No, that didn't make sense at all. Nope, I'm always late.
During the 7-month-long journey to Mars, and they could build some of the infrastructure that humans will need before the humans arrive.
Okay, shut up. I'm over it. We don't want it. I love space. Like, personally, I think space is fucking rad. It's the coolest thing. Space movies, futuristic movies, Interstellar. Those are like all my favorite things to consume, but I don't actually want to be there. Because you know what? All of them start and end with dystopia. And I would rather not ideally be there in that situation. Thank you very much. But Tesla announced that. Great memes from it. People just meme. I think even if the world got taken over by robots, everyone would just be shitposting it constantly. Oh my God, LOL. We just got invaded. What? Robots have taken over? That's crazy. We're so crazy. Bruh, I just got punched by my Tesla robot. I'm over it. I'm infinitely over it. OnlyFans. Everyone's favorite not safe for work website. So OnlyFans announced this week that they will no longer be hosting sexually explicit content, which made apps. I had to reread the headline multiple times because I thought, isn't that what the website is for? Isn't OnlyFans now become, essentially like a porn website? Like, isn't that what it is? I think initially it intended to be a sort of Patreon of sorts, if you will. Like, it initially, focus, cool. It initially was meant to be more of like anyone who has fans, this is exclusive content for the fans. But no, they announced that in October, they will be banning sexually explicit content. In order to ensure the long-term sustainability of the platform and to continue to host an inclusive community of creators and fans, we must evolve our content guidelines, said the company that will definitely go under in a year. This is exactly what happened to Tumblr. Tumblr, for those who don't know, Tumblr, a blogging website, had a ton of not safe for work content on it. Arguably the most. And then they made the move once Yahoo bought Tumblr. Soon after, they started taking that content off of it, and then no one started using Tumblr anymore. They tanked. Because low-key, that's what they became known for. So this is a pretty bold move. And that there are politics going on behind the scenes for them to make this move. Because if I were them, I feel like I'd be worried that someone's going to come in and swoop up the business. Because someone's got to host that content. It's not just not going to exist. Like, if this were some, I think a lot of people were saying, I don't know what's the truth with this story, but a lot of people were saying credit card companies were not okay with people, like their credit cards being used on the website or something like that. And then they were saying religious organizations who those credit card companies had donated to were putting pressure on them to not host that content or be a part of that content, whatever it may be. Either way, this content is still going to exist with or without the platform. One of the more recent and more famous people on the website is Corinna Koff, YouTuber, YouTuber. I think she's a YouTuber, streamer, person who was in David Dobrik's vlogs and still is, said the problem with OnlyFans is the only people being affected is sex workers. And not only are they affected, but being directly attacked. You can still post nudity, which is true. While I won't be affected, shame on OnlyFans for the direction they're going. Sorry, I totally butchered that. And I think that's true. I think the sad part of a move like this is that sex work was finally becoming normalized. It finally found a home for content like that. People are making tons of money. Corinna made like $4 million or something in a day, or $1 million in a day, which, honestly, good on her. Good on anyone who's making money. I think it's really funny that a lot of people's responses to this were like, now all of these girls need to go and get real jobs. What the hell is a real job? Are you getting paid? Are you making money? Then that's a job. Money is money. Work is work. I don't know at what point you were brainwashed into thinking that the only way to make money, or that the only real job, was to sit at a desk and work for a corporation. But it's not. There are plenty of people used to say making content on the internet was not a real job. Look at it now. It's a very much a real job. It's going to happen regardless or not without this platform, regardless of if you think it's legitimate. People make a living off of it. And the great thing about platforms like OnlyFans at the time was there was finally a middleman. It was finally a safer way for people in that industry to produce content. Because there is a lot of dangers of doing that type of work in person, or, running it yourself, and you were doing it, more again in real life, working with another, company offline, any of that. It's a little bit dangerous. So to finally have a platform that seemed to be sex positive and uplifting was great, but apparently it's not. So I am very curious to see what's going to happen to them. And I was also going to talk about one of the main founders, but I don't even know if I really want to get into it. Look up the founders of the company. I got a burp. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. One of the founders who owns 75% of the company, Leonid Radvitsky, has a really shady past. He's, according to his literal Wikipedia page, there is the tagline, or first of all, the first thing under his career says, in 2014, Microsoft sued Radvitsky. That's the first bullet point on his Wikipedia page, is that he was being sued. There's an article, one of his second most popular articles is OnlyFans founder faces allegations of fraud, theft, and what was the other one? It was fraud, theft, and just overall debauchery. I don't even know if I'm making any sense. Basically, the guy is shady. I'll link a Forbes article down below because it's juicy. And again, all this is alleged, but he has been a part of some very shady internet scams since the 90s. Alleged scams. And made a lot of money off a lot of vulnerable people. So it's very strange that he is now in a similar predicament with a similar company. It's kind of frightening. I don't like it. What I do like is people having the right to do whatever they want with their body. It's their body. It's their choice. Money is money. Sex work is work. Period. Done. Over with. Okay, had to fix this. I couldn't tell if it was not focusing on me for some reason, but here we are doing this myself. Things happen either way. At least you have the sound of my voice. We make it work, people, because why?
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment.
Thank you. Lorde released her third album, and I was so excited about this. I can remember, so when Lorde released her first album, like most of us, like a lot of people, I fell in love with her. I was like, who is this moody New Zealand girl just singing to me? I felt like she was singing directly to me, writing these angsty lyrics I wish I could write. I was such a fan of her lyrics more than anything, because finally I felt like I found an artist that just like challenged me as a listener to really dissect every element of her music. It felt so intentional, from the lyrics to the strange sounds to even like the speed and the patterns of her songs. On this new one, like the one thing I've learned with a Lorde song is that you never know what you're going to get from the beginning to the end. And it kept consistent with this, that songs would have these moments where they would shift into something completely different about halfway through. And I'm like, thank God I kept listening, because I just like got so surprised. It was like such a nice surprise to finally listen to music that wasn't so, it didn't fit like an archetype. It was its own thing. It was brand new. But yeah, I was really excited to listen to this. So this morning I ran a 10-mile run by the beach. I felt like it was so fitting to listen to the album for the first time on my way to the beach, at the beach, everything. And it was, again, it just like solar power. Everything she's saying about most of her music videos have been kind of like beachy, hippie. So it really fit that vibe, dare I say. Hate that word, vibe. Her first album kind of felt like it dealt with the restlessness of being young. Her second one felt like it dealt with the pain of growing older. And then this one feels like it's finally capturing the bliss amongst the harsh world around her, in a way, if that makes sense. Like, it feels like she's happy, but she's realizing the problems in the world still. She's acknowledging the pain people go through, the pain she's going through, but in the same way, she's writing about the happy times finally, which is really hard to do, frankly. I feel like the world rewards pain and rewards vulnerability that comes from sharing your trauma. You know, I feel like that it's rewarded all the time in the content creator space. You know, you're more likely, this keeps like not focusing. You're more likely, I need to like be this close to it. You're more likely to get 1 million clicks on a video that says, I'm sad, then we're just going to go with it. I don't know why it's not focusing, but we're just going to go with it. You're more likely to get 1 million clicks on a video that says, I'm sad, than a video that says, I'm happy. So to see her say, fuck it, I'm just going to make the album about being happy because that's what I am and that's what I want to put out. To me, I'm just utterly proud of her. And again, that sounds weird. I don't know her, but I felt like that was bravery to put out something like that. Not necessarily what your audience wants or what you know they think they want, but what the truth is. I really like the opening song, The Path. I really like Big Star. I love Stoned at the Nail Salon, even though that's, you know, probably the saddest song on the album. But, you know, Mood Ring's great, Solar Power's great. It's a really upbeat, lovely album. And in true Lorde fashion, not a lot of it is radio friendly. Not a lot of it fits any sort of pop mold. It just is what it is. I felt like it was really nice to see her use natural instruments. She used a lot of like simple drums, not a lot of these droning bassy sounds like in her previous music. She's sung, like, I don't know if people notice this, but she's singing mainly in an upper octave the entire album versus her previous album. She sings really low. Like, she kind of got memed for it for a long time. I'm just using my hands now to like keep the focus. I'm keeping this hand right here. She got memed for a long time for like singing down here. And now she's singing up here. That's embarrassing. She's singing really, really high now. And a lot of layers to her vocals, very like choiry. I don't know. I'm really proud to see any artist really follow through with their art and not feel contained by what's popular. So I'm really, really happy for her. It was a really enjoyable listen. I had a great run to it. So really, it made me actually, again, happy, upbeat, excited. So that was fantastic. Congrats to Lorde.
My queen, my lord, my savior.
Okay, now it's time for everything else. The part of the podcast where the name comes into play and I just tell you everything else. Not a lot, because obviously like my music of the week is Lorde. Truly, it's Lorde. Really love it. Give it a listen. Beginning to end, give it a listen. I think it's really great. This week I watched the movies Looper and Edge of Tomorrow, both very fitting with the Tesla story, both very futuristic, kind of dystopian. Looper's an older one. Edge of Tomorrow is a more recent one. Edge of Tomorrow is one of those movies. It stars Tom Cruise and has Emily Blunt in it. And it's one of those movies where I remember seeing the promo back in like 2014 and thinking this movie looks horrible. It kind of looked like someone was just like, space movies are in, let's make a space movie. Like I don't know why, but something about the promotion of it didn't register with me that it was going to actually be a good movie. And it has like 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a classic caught in a loop, which is actually funny. Both of these are very similar in that sense. It's a classic like caught in a loop, caught in the same day type of type of film. So, you know, he's like reliving the same day, and I won't tell you anymore, but it's like a futuristic space dystopian living the same day to accomplish some task type of movie, and it's really good. Looper's a similar type of thing, but much more gritty and really, really kind of disturbing in weird ways, but that one's also really great. Thoroughly enjoy both. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in Looper. Tom Cruise is in Edge of Tomorrow. Good films. Fun time. Really like them. Comment of the week. The comment of the week goes to Hamza Khan, who said, interesting video. 1 thumbs up. Thank you so much for your feedback. Really appreciate it. What do you mean? Was it actually interesting, or are you annoyed at me? What did you mean by that comment? It's me overthinking a conversation I had at dinner all night long. What did they mean to have a good night? What did they mean by they really enjoyed this time together? Are they lying to me? Paranoid. Absolutely paranoid. Thank you so much for your comments. Really appreciate it. But that's really all I got this week. The sun is clearly going down. We've had technical difficulties galore, but you know what? We made it through it. We persevered, and we are here. So thank you for sticking around. Hopefully next week is a little bit more well put together, less chaotic, but that's been everything. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to click the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe, turn on the notifications, all that stuff. If somehow you're listening to this magically, I figured out a way how to get it up on streaming platforms, so I hope my voice sounded buttery and smooth and really got you through your drive, your studying, maybe your job even. The heck, you're listening to me while you're on the job? That's awesome. Good for you. Good for you. Okay. Love you. I'll see you next week. Bye.